Hello and welcome back to Confused So Are We.
We're very confused, aren't we?
We are very confused and a little change of scenery, so I say we're even more confused this week. It's nice.
Better or worse scenery? Put something on the comments and see what you think. Yeah, it's certainly more civilised down here, isn't it?
Yes. How are you this morning, Greg?
I'm vertical and breathing, which is good, and looking for a lot of good feedback about the podcast.
Yes, we are. Good feedback.
Random people, including not teenagers, saying they listen to it.
Ooh,
so
not teenagers. We'll
pleasantly
going then.
Pleasantly surprised.
It's no longer going to be the youth's big questions. It's going to be everybody's big questions. We're going to be a source of eternal knowledge.
Source of eternal confusion, I think, will be bearing in mind the name of the podcast. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to us. We haven't got super long this morning, so we're having to trim things down a little bit. But we have 5 exciting and interesting questions to discuss this morning, don't we?
We sure do.
Please pose the difficult first one.
So the hardest question. So there's a little bit of backstory to this. This is our youth group question. So if you are new to the youth group, if you are visiting...
Yeah, if you're a leader visiting...
you are asked this question. The question goes that if you were forced to eat a live chinchilla...
Like gun to your head, you had to.
Yeah, you absolutely had to. Would you eat it head first or bum first?
It's a difficult... Only one person said back first. So they turned on its sides to eat it, but yeah. Well, out of curiosity, when you first arrived, you arrived here, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
3 years. Bit of a shock question for you. Do you remember your response?
I remember knowing that I'm going to enjoy being in this youth group. That was...
It's a very weird, intimidating start, really. Yeah, live animal sacrifice. Yeah.
I think my response has always been the same. Head first, put both that and me out of the misery of...
Yeah. But I think that seems to be a popular response.
It's the most humane response, I think.
I've been asked this. I don't know where it came from. I've been asked this a lot of times over the years, and I think my response has changed. But I'll say the popular answer tends to be head first because it won't. Once that's done, it won't fight back. Whereas bum first, you got a wrestling match, the whole time, and it's near your face. It's not good.
No.
But then the other objection that people answer about going bum first is. The good bit about that is that I'm going to look it in the face when you're doing it. So that removes a level of personal confrontation. Yeah. It's a difficult question.
It's really difficult. And I hope none of you have to answer that question, really.
It's a deep and philosophical question. You know that we've asked it and everyone's going to be thinking about it. That's it.
Are in that position where you have to eat a chinchilla, you've done something wrong in your life. I think that's...
All right, so what's the next one?
The next question is, what happens when you die?
It's a very interesting question. And truth be told, I don't think Toby or I have died yet.
No, we are...
So we don't actually know.
No, we're not ghosts just yet.
Or are we? We are as confused as you.
We can talk about some different understandings of it, though.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll talk about various ones, and then we'll maybe chat about our own experience.
Yeah,
So let's start with the Catholics first. So the Catholics,
right.
So they're purgatory. So that was...
Is that still ongoing as a thing?
I think they still do. At least my understanding of it is...
I'm not Catholic and haven't read much about...
No, so you die,
Catholic
you go to this judgment place, and I always think of it a bit like, if they were to be like a court of law, like God's up at the thing, and you get judged on your good and bad deeds, and then you go to heaven or hell. I think that's still the Catholic belief of it, if I remember correctly.
I think we might be offending a lot of Catholics right now, but I've no idea. That certainly sounds like a medieval Catholic worldview. I've heard that before historically. The way it's been explained to me, and I'm only a simple human and have no idea what the answers are to these things. What happens when you die? From various conversations I've had with very, very intelligent people, God exists outside of time and dips in and out when he needs to, chooses to. So from what I've understood, that idea knocked the idea of purgatory on the head, where if God's outside of time and you died in, I can't think of a number that's appropriate for your age. How old are you again?
That's upsetting.
Okay, when do you turn 100? What year will it be when you turn 100?
2107.
Wow. Okay. So in the year 2020, what will we say in the future? What will we call it? 2107? Because we say 2025, so we break it down to 2025.
That sounds really hip and cool and say I died in the year 2107.
2107 to 2107. Okay, that's how we'll say it. That's how we'll say it in the future. This is great conversation.
Yeah.
I love that. So you died in 2107.
Yeah.
and head to heaven for judgment, as you described, and then say someone died in like 1402 from war or Black Death or whatever happens in 1402, or a nasty cough, and they would end up in heaven at the same moment that you did. I think from what I've understood is because God's outside time, that would be like instantaneous. Like you'd arrive at exactly the same moment at the throne of God for judgment.
Yeah, so everyone at the same time. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a non-purgatory idea. Some Christians don't believe that. That's fine. That
raises some questions, because I, personally, when I like to think of heaven, this is my own, like, thinking about it all, was like people kind of like watch down on you, like God watches down on you. When they die, they go to heaven, but maybe they're just that. It's so fast that everyone's there at the same time. I don't know.
I think one of the interesting things you mentioned before, and the kind of old world belief about judging the good and bad things that you've done, that persists a very, very long time to history. It's the ancient Egyptians, when they've old mummies and pyramids and stuff, and they pull your organs and pull them out when you're dead and put them in a jar. And then you cover you in formaldehyde and wrap you up and all these wonderful things. They believed that you'd end up being judged, and your good deeds were put on a scale, and your bad deeds were put on a scale, etc. And I think they'd work it out based on that, or they'd put your heart on a scale, and if it was lighter than a feather because of the good things you'd done, then you'd get to go to the good afterlife, and there was some kind of bad afterlife as well. I don't know much about Egyptian mythology. We'll go for mythology. So that's kind of quite a persistent kind of idea that's actually, starting with the Egyptians, that's persisted in lots of cultures over time, which is interesting. But whereas I think for us as Christians it's tricky, because that's not actually a Christian worldview, that you die, you end up at judgment.
Yeah.
And from what I've understood, a lot of cultures, based on the old Egyptian idea, you weigh up good and bad. Good stuff you go here, bad stuff you go here.
If you were given the option to, would you be mummified?
No, it's gross. They got to use a hook,
okay, say they don't do that
through your nose.
Just say they don't do that bit. Would you be mummified?
As in, like, wrapped up and stuffed with straw. Yeah. Mummification is the process of emptying your body and stuffing it with sand. Like, you can't really get past that is mummification. Do you mean just wrapped up?
Next question.
Hang on, we haven't finished that one. So I think, what happens when you die? So I was going to say about where I'm at now, is what I've understood is we stand before the judgment seat of God, and everyone's judged for what they have done, good and bad. However, because for Christians who say yes to Jesus, that's the difference. Yeah. Because you don't have to answer, or Jesus has covered all that stuff for you, the bad stuff that you've done. So I think there's less, there's less dialogue between us and God about the things we've done, maybe more dialogue between Jesus and God.
Because Jesus is the one that you relate from human to, I don't know.
Yeah, and he's covered the bad stuff for us. So actually, I don't know if that means it's a long conversation and Jesus chips in a lot and says, no, I've dealt with that. Or it's a very short conversation.
Yeah. But Jesus goes, I've dealt with it.
And I really don't think heaven or hell, well, that's a whole other podcast anyway. I don't think it's really based on good deeds, bad deeds. I think it's based on, do you accept Jesus as your saviour or not?
Here's a little question. If you would like us to do a whole episode on heaven and hell, let us know. So I think that could be just a whole themed episode. I think that would be quite nice.
No idea what we're talking about. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
We will. Well, we can waffle about heaven and hell. Whether you'll get any decent answers is another question.
Okay. Next question. Who created God?
I don't think anyone created God. God was just...
Guys, Greg doesn't know, which means nobody knows.
Well, I don't know. I've got no idea. I wasn't there at the beginning. I mean, I wasn't even there before 1981, so you know.
That like God always exists. And when people we can't comprehend that God always exists. It's like we're not meant to. We're humans. What we are meant to understand is that God is so much infinitely more clever. That, like, he is the intelligence of everyone on earth combined times a billion. Like, he is... And to that point, we're not meant to understand. If we knew how God was created, we would all be gods.
Exactly. And we're not.
Yeah,
it is hard for us to comprehend, because like your phone had a start point when it was created from metals and minerals and plastics. Yeah. You had a start point the day you were born. The banana you have for lunch started as part of a tree that grew and was pulled off and harvested. So everything that we see and experience had a man-made or natural, everything had a start day, a birth day, whereas God didn't. So it's really hard for us to get our heads around. So, beard stroking. Yes. Metaphorical beard stroking. Or real.
So who created God? God.
God did. Well, he's already getting. Yeah, he's not created.
God did.
He's not created. Okay, next one. Why didn't God banish evil permanently? Banishment's an interesting word there. I like that.
So I think after having a conversation with the person I think wrote this question was like, why did God give the fruit of knowledge and evil? Like, he could have just said, like, it's not there, there's no evil. There's no way that you could be tempted to eat it. There's no opportunity to lead into sin. Yeah, that's really interesting, actually.
Why didn't God banish evil permanently? Well, the banishment's an interesting word, because at the fall in Genesis, we humans, Adam and Eve, get banished from the Garden of Eden. So banishment is, I can see where the root of this question is, because that is when we talk about evil, we do think about banishment, because that's what happened to humans who are banished out of the garden, which is a state where humans break the one rule they're given, and they get booted out, and they're no longer within God's paradise. They no longer walk day by day, every day of their lives with God, and they're not protected. And then, like, part of the fall is like you need to read the first couple of chapters of Genesis, and what you'll find is results of the fall: hard work, discrimination. Finally, to see the next question. Hard work, discrimination, pain, death, illness, like natural disaster. Those things become part of like humans' experience after the fall. So all that evil comes in, but that's is God responsible for that? No, we are, because we chose to tell him to bog off.
But God gave us the opportunity. Is that God being unkind, which it isn't? I'm weighing it up. Is it God being unkind, or is it God saying, I want you guys to have a choice? I don't want you to mindlessly believe in me. I would like you to decide to.
I don't want to force you to love me. You got a choice, and that's the phrase we use for that, guys, is free will. So God loves us, gives us free will, which is a choice to follow him or not follow his way of life. So why didn't God banish evil permanently? Because if he does, then we have no, like you said, we have no choice then. He takes away our free will.
And obviously, he gave us free will at the start. But evil is evil, like it's bad. And over time it is twisted to become some of the most extraordinary bad things we see in this world. Just that has developed because people have chosen to side with evil. They've made the choice, they would and that's let evil, because evil wants evil wants a friend. Misery loves company. Like, come and stay. And that just gets more and more and more.
We can definitely do a whole podcast talking about the devil. That'd be an interesting conversation.
If you would like a whole podcast talking about the devil,
then let's ask a question in the comments, please. So why didn't God banish evil permanently? I think because otherwise we lose free will, and that is a thread you don't want to pull on, because then we lose our choice.
We lose our choice. Like, my filming means I could literally punch Greg in the face right now because I've got that free will.
It's first thing on a Friday morning. You don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. Sometimes I want to do that, but
I'll sit further away. All right. And funnily enough, the last question is discrimination ? It's a one word.
When we wrote up these, someone wrote discrimination ?
So you go. So discrimination started.
Discrimination? I'm trying to think how you'd say it. Discrimination.
Oh, with the
question mark.
Discrimination? Yeah, as long as you go up at the end, we're there. Absolutely. Discrimination started at the Garden of Eden. When we broke the rule, Adam and Eve, we humans broke the first rule, and that's one of the consequences, one of the evils that comes into the world, that people start to discriminate against other people. It can be about anything though. So it can be discrimination about race, about gender, about whether you like Star Wars or not. You know, all those important things. So that's what discrimination is: people treating each other badly because of something they are, or something they're into, or something they do. So, have you ever faced discrimination?
I think I imagine I definitely have. An example that people could probably more relate to is discriminate for being a Christian at school.
Okay.
Because I think a good portion of people are kind of, oh, you're a Christian, you love the Bible, you just sit at home and read the Bible all day.
And you're like,
a very warped view of it.
Do you think people thought less of you or were negative towards you because you had a faith?
I think negative towards me in the sense is they then found something they could take the mickey out of me for. And I'm going to say this, the discrimination I've faced is nothing compared to what some people have. I want to make that very clear. Some people experienced so
more
much
major
worse.
persecution.
But in the sense that I say I have was, it's really hard because you want to fit in at school because kids are mean, but you also don't.
You want to be yourself too. Yeah.
And I think it's happened in several occasions, and sometimes it's been worse than others from other people, but it's really hard.
The important thing to say is discrimination's almost always unfair. And the truth is everyone suffers from it in some way, shape or form. Just some people suffer way worse than others.
It's like a fear of difference. People get anti...
It's not good.
Yeah. It's not good, don't get me wrong, but that's really
people
interesting.
do fear stuff that's different. Because generally speaking, going back in kind of the early part of human life, if you didn't fit in, you'd starve, get kicked out of the tribe, the community.
You'd be forced out the cave.
Yeah, that sort of thing, or the tent or the house, depending on what it is. So humans are built to be kind of discriminatory creatures, or rather, I should say, that's part of the fall. That's part of our sinful nature that we tend to do bad things like hate difference. So I'd encourage you in this particular season, because obviously, politically and in terms of faith at the moment in our culture, there's a lot of discrimination, and it's really not good.
We're in a difficult time, in all honesty. We are.
If you find yourself at the butt end of discrimination, or you find yourself being quite discriminating or feeling feelings like that towards certain people because of certain ways they are or certain things they do, just check yourself and have a think, where does that come from? Why do I feel that?
But if you are in that situation, talk to God, talk to family and friends, talk to teachers. Really,
grab a youth worker.
Grab one of us.
Yeah, discrimination not good, and we're also sorry because everyone discriminates. So Toby and I have probably sometimes discriminated. Yeah. Especially if you don't like Star Wars, I can get.
I like Star Wars.
I can get. Oh, you? No, I'm talking about anyone. I'm apologising to everyone. It's all right, mate. Chill.
So I discriminate against your horrible rock music.
Fair. That's all right. Hey, Tobes, for you, whenever I drive you somewhere from now on, I'll put on some nice Michael Bublé for you. It's all right. We'll put something gentle.
I'd rather that than the stuff you
something gentle and soothing and pleasant and something
I can get
my great-grandmother would have loved to listen to.
Yes. You know what? I'll get behind
Smell of lavender, soft gloves.
Put the opera on.
Nice cup of tea.
No, definitely don't put the opera on. That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, well, yes, you're discriminating against opera, just saying. So I think, again, discrimination, I expect we'll have lots of questions on that topic.
Yeah.
As certain things come up,
is discrimination
politics
just
or
not
faith
liking? Is it there's so much more?
Yeah, you're allowed an opinion. Are you discriminating against something?
Because you said, I don't want to listen to the
rock
opera.
music.
Is that discriminate against that?
That's great.
Interesting.
Yeah, where does the line between having an opinion and discrimination start? Yeah. We should leave that one hanging. Yeah.
I think we've given them more questions than we've answered this week.
I think that was always going to happen with every episode. I hope that you walk away with more questions from this, because we are confused as you are, and we just rambled about the things that you're asking.
Yeah,
that's the point of the podcast.
We want to keep answering more questions, more episodes.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So we need more, because we've done quite a lot of the first batch of questions that were sent in. So we need more batches, not like bread, but more like.
You could send us batches of bread. I'd appreciate that personally.
Yeah, feed Toby, feed the Toby. Yeah, that's on me. Yeah, that's on me. We get quite hungry. It's great. Yeah, so send us more questions for us to tackle, the things that keep you awake at night and keep you scratching your head. We are interested. Thanks for listening, guys.
That's all we've got time for this week.
Or watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you like the surroundings. Maybe next week we'll move somewhere else and just really mix it up. Go crazy.
Yeah, maybe next week we should do it on the roof of the church.
My only worry is the wind. And you might really mess about with the old sound edge.
They're fancy microphones. We'll figure it out one day.
Cool. If it's raining, I'm going to say no. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. That's good. All right. Well.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening.
Tune in next week.
We are confused.
And so are we. No, you are confused.
You're confused, so are we.